Corporal Randall here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe. I'd like to address something that all of us are hearing tons about right now: voting. And yes, I would not be one that agreed that everyone should vote. I understand that voting is a treasure and it's necessary. However, it is also a huge responsibility, and you shouldn't go voting if you have no clue what you're voting for. For instance, most don't realize that anytime you see the word bond on a ballot, it should just be substitute for borrowing. That means that whatever you're voting for is looking to raise money. So they're going to pay out some level of interest to anyone willing to pay them for their bonds. You may think, we need whatever this bond is proposed for. And I'm not saying you don't. But do you understand that all debts come due? How much do you need it? The reason I ask that is because anytime a bond is passed, that means it has to have some way of generating revenue. The way most municipalities intend to raise money for bonds is they raise either taxes or they raise fees, which means that when you may go get your new license or have to register your vehicle, notice that you're paying more. You don't understand why. Well, it's a good chance it was for whatever bond you voted to pass. Regarding voting, I want you to vote, but I want you to vote conditionally. Conditional on you actually knowing the issues. You understand what you're voting for. When you start off by telling me that you want to fundamentally change the country, I come with two conclusions from that. One, that you don't love the country. And two, you're probably in it for yourself. I mean, for all of you out there married, if your spouse came to you and said they wanted to fundamentally change you, does that mean they love you? Back to voting. Learn the issues. Generally, when I'm voting, I look at three issues that are near and dear to my heart. One, the military, because I believe that no country will stand without a strong defense. Based on my love of country and desire for improvement of the country, love school choice. Basically, you're trying to improve the education of the students that will next be the leaders of the country. Now, that doesn't mean I want them indoctrinated into some weird thought process. I want them to learn how to think, not what to think. And three, taxation, because taxation is theft. No matter how good the government is, I'm always a believer that I can do a much better job spending my money than the government can. Voting allows that. Charter schools, how the money is spent, the purse strings. It allows you to choose those who will select how all of this is done. So you should vote, but you should also understand why you're voting, who you're voting for. What are the issues that actually matter to you? Figure out what the issues are actually matter to you and look at how the people that you're voting for feel about those issues. Another thing, guess what? I hate to break it to you. Most people have limited interactions with the federal government. So when it comes to voting, the most important things you're going to be voting for are your local elections, your mayors, your governor, whatever your local senator or city council. Those are going to be the things that affect you the most. They're going to have the most direct impact on your quality of life, your neighbor's quality of life, your children's quality of life. And those are going to be the things that you should spend the most time concerned with. Because everyone who lives near you is going to be affected by how you vote. There's very little a politician can do to affect your life or improve your life. Those decisions are going to be made at a much more local level. Your household. You should be proud of your vote. I mean, think, for the longest time in our country's history, the only people that were allowed to vote were white landowners. Then you had the right to vote extended to black men. Finally, women were allowed to vote. And the largest voting demographic is actually women. So, take pride in your ability to vote and do it. But first, learn what you're voting for. If you don't know what you're voting for, you shouldn't be in there. Truly. Because if you don't know what you're voting for and all you're voting for is a D or an R, you're an idiot who doesn't need the right to vote. You should have that vote rescinded based on your lack of information and your lack of understanding how that could adversely affect everyone else in the country because you're low information. Joe Biden won't do an interview with anyone of record, but he'll do an interview with Cardi B. Why? Because he understands that she has a large fan base, she has a large following, and they are low or no information voters. So they're going to follow her even when she says things that are in direct contradiction to what she stated she believes. For instance, she said she wanted universal health care, but she also wants her taxes to go down. Those two are non sequiturs. If you want universal health care, then you would have to increase taxes to over 70%. Not for the rich, not for the 1%, for the entire country. So yes, they're using her. And yes, by using her in extension, they're assuming that the people that follow her are low or no information voters, and thus they could get them to vote for their candidate. Honor and respect the privilege that is your right to vote. Take the time to educate yourself. Then decide who you want to vote for. Not because of who the media is telling you should vote for, or because who your family votes for, or who you historically thought you were on the side of. Because of your newfound information that allows you to make an informed decision that's best for you and hopefully best for the country. Well, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell. Corporal Randall, out.